Welcome to Travelpreneur, the weekly business show for the travel industry. I'm your host, Houston-based journalist Megan McSwain. Each episode, we'll be exploring what it takes to thrive as a business owner in the travel industry. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Bill Glass, founder and chief operating officer of AltruPay, a payment processing and merchant account provider committed to providing low rates, flexible underwriting, and quick approval. As a travel payment company, we know the importance of finding a reliable and trustworthy payment processing partner that understands the unique needs of a travel business. Hello, Bill. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Well, let's dig right into it. Can you tell us about AltruPay and the solutions that you offer?
Yeah. So AltruPay is a full risk provider. We cover multiple different types of payment methodologies. So ACH, part of the FedNow program, and of course, traditional merchant accounts. Full risk just means that we cover low risk traditional accounts all the way up to some high risk levels as well.
Okay. Well, when you hear travel industry, what are the most common types of businesses that fit into that market? What comes to mind?
So great question. So three main categories we kind of say, hey, so obviously air travel, cruise travel, and then more of that full service agency. They may do both of those, car rental, hotel, etc.
And why are travel businesses, such as the ones you mentioned, unique or risky in the eyes of credit card processors?
So really it's going to come down to two main categories, and obviously we could get really granular into those, but it's going to be the risk associated with how far out they book, and then obviously just their return profiles and how they book those, whether it's a hotel or however they book that travel.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, right now I can go on Stripe or Square and tell them I'm a travel business and I'll be able to process a payment in 10 minutes. Why is that a bit misleading?
Yeah, so they're both PayFacs. Payment facilitation is really hot in our industry right now, and it's exactly what you said. Let's get as much information down as we can from the merchant, the business owner themselves. Let's get them approved. Let's get them processing. What that means is they're going to underwrite the account after the fact. That could be a day, 5 days, 10 days, 30 days after the fact. Their terms of service aren't really clear on what types of businesses they accept, what type of thresholds, any chargeback levels. They don't really get into the granular aspects, and a business owner can't really read into that, nor have they ever really been taught to maybe ask the right questions. So, for example, you could go on right now, you could fill it out on Stripe. Great APIs, you can connect it to your website, you can be processing in 5 days. When they actually do underwriting, they can shut everything down and hold all your funds.
Oh, wow.
Worst case scenario. So that's really what we see a lot when we're dealing with Square and Stripe is, past history, they review something and they lock up their funds, which is never a good thing in the travel industry.
Right. Well, what can travel businesses do to best position themselves to be approved for a merchant account?
I think when you're looking at the big picture, the best thing to do is make sure you have a really good mitigation strategy in place so you can be a little bit more free on how you book and your timelines. A lot of agencies will book 30 to 60, 90 days out. And then we'll see some that, you can book 6 months out. I can go on united.com right now and book almost a year out.
Yeah.
So, make sure that you have a really good mitigation strategy that's going to protect your downside, your risk exposure. When you're able to explain that to your bank or your processor, it makes them feel a lot more comfortable with those terms and you booking things out 90 days out, et cetera.
Right. So what information should a travel business be prepared to provide during underwriting?
Yeah, so traditional underwriting packages consist of your basic corporate articles and all of your business type stuff. We do like to see 3 months of previous processing if they have it, and 3 months of their past bank statements. We're just looking for some liquidity stuff and making sure they can cover any exposure that they could have. And then at the same time, we want to look at what they call their billing profile, right? So how far out are they billing? How are they billing? How are they booking? Do they have certain license? Are they part of certain associations? These all kind of tell us the telltale signs of, are they legit?
Right.
Are they on the up and up? Are they investing in their organization to have someone responsible to get and manage their ARC license or their their certification, their IATA certification, etc.
So be prepared to provide all of that. Just
Yeah, yeah.
quickly, can travel businesses expect to receive approval for a merchant account?
The good ones, right? Which 98% of them are. The good ones out there that have all of their stuff already together and it's into us, and we have the bank agreement signed. We're probably looking at 48-hour turnaround
Oh,
for
wow.
approval.
What factors might affect the approval process?
Just high level would be credit score of whoever's guaranteeing the account,
Mhm.
low standing funds in the bank account. Of course, match. That's the worst of the worst. But outside that, you're looking at things like no associations. They're not tied to anything. They're not really. It leaves us in a guessing game of how they're booking things. I'll give you a prime example. We had one travel company to where they were taking payment and just turning around on their company credit card and booking the plane ticket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not gonna fly real well because you can't support your customer that way.
This episode is brought to you by travelpayments.com. Travel businesses have unique needs when it comes to credit card processing. From large average ticket sizes and tolerance for higher chargeback ratios to simple integrations with the most popular shopping cart systems, the travel industry specialists at travelpayments.com have you covered. Unfortunately, many of the most popular credit card processors initially accept travel businesses, but without warning, freeze their merchant accounts and the thousands of dollars in them because these service providers don't understand or support the unique needs of travel industry business. Don't get stuck with one of the big guys who will freeze you out without a moment's notice. Instead, work with the travel industry specialist who will support your business every step of the way. Visit travelpayments.com to get a free quote today. So what type of licensing could be required for travel businesses?
Yeah, so there's more. It's more of certification and licensing, but it's easier to use that term. ARC is more of a domestic association that is here in the U.S. specific to airline travel. Then you have IATA, that's more of an international equivalent to airlines, and then you have a few other ones. Some, for example, CLIA, which is for cruise lines, and then you have smaller ones like U.S. Travel Association, American Society of Travel Advisors, stuff like that. All of those programs have certifications that you can get either someone in your group certified, or you can get your company certified. And last but not least, ARC. ARC is really important to us. It's very simple to get. It's kind of the leading one. It gives you accessibility to book straight to the airlines. And that's where most people don't understand, right? If you're on ARC and you're booking through the airlines direct, you're not being financially punished by the airline until that ticket is swiped.
Right.
So it gives accessibility to support, and us as the processor, we don't have to worry about you telling your consumer no and your consumer starting to charge a whole bunch of stuff back.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So what's a good pricing range for travel merchants? What would you say?
Yeah, so anywhere from 50 basis points to 300 basis points over interchange. That's a huge swing, but it really just depends on everything that we've discussed. Are they on the up and up? Are they maybe a startup with some more risk concern, et cetera?
What are some ways that you've seen travel companies offer payments that have helped boost their top line?
Ooh, that's a great question. BNPL is hot right now. Buy now, pay later.
Mhm.
They're pulling it back a little bit in the travel space, but outside that, it's typically marketing. The guys that are really pushing a lot of volume are typically on social media, and they're
Mhm.
doing stuff like that. It's really more of a marketing play.
But have
Uh,
you seen like installment? I mean, like you said,
yeah.
buy your installment
Mhm.
payments. Have you seen anything like customers paying the process? Like if there's a processing fee, the customers are handling that. Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all going to be based on the business owner, right? So we have two different ways to price a merchant account. I call it traditional, which is you heard me say 50 basis points to 300 basis points over interchange. And then you have things like dual pricing, cash discount, where a merchant may be able to pass on that cost to a consumer and they have to pay the fee for that transaction. We're not seeing too much of that on e-commerce, really much at all, but that's going to be more for your in-person travel agent. and more card present type stuff.
Okay. Can you tell us more about how customized payment processing solutions can benefit travel businesses specifically?
Yeah, so this is really when we talk customized, we're really going to get more into protecting their exposure.
Mhm.
Friendly fraud's a real deal right now. And friendly fraud is unfortunately one of the biggest things as a payment processor we battle because we fight on the merchant side, right? Most of the time, the ticket was delivered. Most of the time that they were on the airline flight, but they go to their bank and they are able to tell them, hey, this isn't what I expected. And so they're going to charge that transaction back. So now that agency is out the money of the booking and out the money that they receive from the consumer.
Right.
So having that mitigation strategy is really important, and just understanding your consumer profile.
Well, this is really great information, super helpful. Bill, if our listeners want to learn more about you or AltruPay, can you share how they can find you or a website or social media where they might be able to learn more?
Yeah, of course. You can always follow me or AltruPay on LinkedIn, or you can go to altrupay.com and all of our contact information's there. We'd love to reach out. We have an entire team dedicated to travel, answering any questions. One of the things we love to say is let's help you get compliant. We've got a step-by-step process to get you guys registered through ARC, as well as IATA, and to make the onboarding process just as seamless and painless as possible.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Bill. It was wonderful getting this insight from you. We look forward to speaking with you again here at Travelpreneur.
Absolutely. Thank you.